What's your one takeaway from Saturday's loss? What stands out to you? Is it something on the stat sheet, or is it just kind of the overall performance? What about it?
I think the overall performance. We didn't run the ball at all. We put ourselves in bad situations. We're making mistakes, mental mistakes that we need to clean up. And I thought in the first half that we did some things that were good and had some things going. And with that one play take control of us when we fumbled and they had it for a touchdown. And came out in the second half and didn't respond the way I was hoping we'd respond. So, takeaway, we lost, and we got to get better. So.
Did you expect the growing pains with a young team like this? Is this something that you might have saw coming?
Oh, we knew there'd be some issues, and we knew there'd be some things that we'd struggle with. Hopefully by Game 6 we'd have those fixed. But, I'm not one to make excuses. If you look at guys, we played our 11th offensive lineman.
Right.
We've had, 2 guys. We had 3 guys that were scheduled to go on Tuesday. Actually 4 guys that were scheduled to go on Tuesday, and then because of injuries couldn't. And but the next guy has to step up, and we're not taking advantage of that. And those guys are given their opportunity to not performing the way I expect them to perform. So we just got to grind down and get back to the fundamentals and work. And I think that's our biggest thing is the fundamentals. We're losing track of the little things that kept us in games in the first 3 weeks, and we're going to start going back to that this week at practice.
You talked about the injuries, and one of them was to Travis Borencall. That was a big loss. Seemed like we really missed him Saturday.
Well, we miss him because he brings a little physical attitude to our offensive line, and he's direct and to the point when it comes down to it. And it's hard because he's one of our leaders there. When you lose one of your leaders, a young guy is looking for something, looking for somebody, and we didn't have that.
You made the quarterback change. Was that to try to provide a spark, or do you see that being more permanent?
That was a planned deal to put Skyler in a little bit and see what he could do. We came out in the second half because just to help provide a spark and try to get a little more in the run game going with a guy quarterback that run the ball more. And again, we mental errors, things we practice, things we look at on film, and it's just I don't know what it is in games. We're just not executing like we do in practice. So
You see an Adams State team and kind of similar, only 8 seniors, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, kind of the same situation as you, but they could score points. It seems like, but they give up points. Kind of this, you know what I mean? Just kind of something's got to give. Something's got to give here. You know what I mean? It's kind of. What do you think you're
Well, I mean, they are explosive on offense. They were going into last week the number 2 passing offense in the country.
I actually heard you say that on your show.
And they're scoring, over 40 points a game. They've been averaging, and I think you take their last opponent out of it because of how good they are, and look at what they've done against other teams, and it's scary because they can score at any moment. And what they do offensively is really sound, and they put you in bad situations and make you make one-on-one tackles, and that's something that scares me because we're not very good at that right now. And defensively, you can say they give up a lot of points and a lot of yards, but defense have seemed to come out and play a little better when they see us. So they play different type of offenses that allow for that sort of thing.
Seems like you guys need to get turnovers here. It's been 3 games. They throw the ball quick.
It's watching film. It's hard to get pressure on the quarterback because it's all timing and what they do, and he does get rid of the ball fast. And we got to find a way to get turnovers. That's something that again, part of the fundamentals that we seem to have forgotten, and it's our job as coaches to get that back in their mind. So that'll be a big topic of conversation is our lack of turnovers, and what are we going to do to try to get some.
Does your experience with the RMAC, having known this team pretty well, give you guys an advantage coming in?
No, I think that they're almost a completely different roster. I think Coach Rosenbaum's done a great job year to year of developing, and I think this is a time for where you're starting to see his building process come through. When he first got there to Adams State, they weren't very good, but you can see improvement year to year to year throughout what they've done, and especially on the defensive side. I think they've gotten a lot better defensively than people give them credit for. Always been able to throw the ball on offense. So it should be an interesting matchup for us.
Homecoming here, kind of, it's a big deal here every year. Seems like the biggest crowd of the year, obviously, and a lot of crap goes on between the week. Something you're kind of excited about? To see?
We got back late yesterday.
Right.
We got back at 10 o'clock yesterday morning. Been on the bus all night, so told the players that we didn't practice this morning. I wanted to get them away from here, get some rest, and kind of refresh. And I'm looking forward more to practice tomorrow morning and getting out on the field. Now, there's a lot of things going on. I got a schedule that somebody's going to come grab me and tell me this is where you got to go. And I'll go and do it and then come back and go back to work. But I know at 6 o'clock in the morning we'll have a team meeting and we'll get ready to go against Adams State.
Anybody going to get back this week? Hopefully like Travis and JQ?
I'm hoping that Travis, JQ, I didn't even think about JQ not being there. Travis, JQ, McGregor, Kobe Morrow, Cayman Johnson. I'm hoping they all can get healthy coming back for this game.
When you're struggling to run the ball and you're going into a matchup where a team that can really light up the scoreboard, is there incentive to say if it's not working running the ball early that we need to switch you need to be more offensive and be more pass oriented?
Well, I mean, it's hard because we had 12 rushing yards the other night, but when we get sacked, those count as rushing yards. So we actually had more rushing yards, and we're doing some things, in the run game, but it just looks worse because of the sacks. So I mean, you got to look at it one way or the other. If you can't run the ball, they're going to tee off and try to bring everybody in and come to the quarterback. So we just got to keep mixing it up, and that's part of putting Skyler in there is put a little different look that they hadn't seen, and we're going to keep grinding. I mean, that's all I can tell you. We're going to keep grinding and do what we do and see what happens.
Positive note, Taylor Nosef continues to be a kid I've noticed week in, week out getting better. It seems like every week he's going to kind of a go-to receiver.
We identified that early in fall camp, and I said just feed it to him. Feed him the information, get him going. He's not where we want him to be mentally with his routes and running them the way we want him all the time. His blocking has gotten a lot better, but he is explosive, and he finds a way to get open, and when he gets his hands on the ball, he's catching it. So. And he does something with it after the fact. So I think right now Kalen's our go-to guy, our best receiver, overall receiver we have. And as being a true freshman, he's only going to get better. So there's positive in that.
Coach, another player that played a lot more last week was Keemon Davis, cornerback. Talk about his play, and just because we hadn't seen him much this year.
Well, he's been working as a number 2 and doing things right. And Coach Aver and I just thought it was time to give him a shot to go out there and see what he can do. I think that Keith Blank struggled a little bit, and we don't have part of our problems. We don't have a lot of competition out there, so that is a spot though where Keemon has been competing, and I thought Keemon deserved a shot to go out there and see what he can do, and I thought he did a great job.